What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7, and today we're on a subscriber account, Snow Me the Way. We've made a lot of progress on this account, but we're going to start wrapping it up in the next couple of episodes because I want to give the account back before the Overlord collaboration. That way they can enjoy whatever side stories and events that we have coming up. Now, what are we going to do today? Honestly, I have no idea. Let's see where we're at and then go from there. The first thing we have to do is some summons. Why? Well, I don't know, because I can. That just, why? That's not even a question. We're just gonna do it. Let's go into Elemental now. Looks like we have a 3 or 4. Let's see what we can get. Only a 3-star here. Mama Rancy. She is amazing, isn't she? We use her so much. 3-star hero. Better than some 5 stars, honestly. She is great. Now we get a, what is this, a 4-star? And we get Zerato. He's just going to be food for Champion Zerato, who is really not used as much as he used to be because of the light meta. Let's see what we get here. Another 4-star hero. It's going to be a fire, and it's Maya. Honestly, she's going to be food as well. That's okay. Let's see what we get. And now we come to a Katie's. Katie's actually very useful going into things like Guild War because she has some ability to reset one skill cooldown on her S number 2 and then heal on her S number 3. You put something like a tome on her, she's going to S2 herself, S3, and she's just going to heal all the time. It's fantastic. We have 2 summons onto Moonlight. Now what I really need to have here is a Sinful Angelica. Let's go Sinful. We get a 3-star unit. We get Wanda, Frida Wolf, the real Epic 7 right there, Frida Wolf. What I need is an Airwell as well. That would be pretty cool. Let's go 4-star. It's a mage, so we don't get our Sinful. Angel of Light, though, barefoot meta, she's amazing. You probably see her in all of my videos. Just can't stop using her. And now we have a changed graphic here for the guaranteed upgraded summon. One thing that's pretty cool is that it's not going to use up any of my Galaxy bookmarks, right? I'm pretty sure. Let's see what we get. 4 stars. Come on, Sinful. That's a mage again. Guider Aether. Frida Wolf. She just does everyone. That's funny. Guider Aether, you know, some people do use Guider Aether because he has a CR boost onto, what is it, S number 3? There it is, 50% with an attack buff. The problem is that this little guy doesn't have a high enough base speed. So here's what you do with Guider Aether. He's a 4-star hero, okay? You take your Guider Aether duplicates, keep 1, take the duplicates, max him out with the 3-star Aethers, then release him. You're going to get a bunch of the silver transmit stones. We might do that later. Just a 3-star unit. Batiste, he had his 5 seconds of fame, not much after that. And we get Suthin. He's just, hate him so much. This is the guy in the mall that wants to sell you cell phones. I can't stand Suthin. Let's see if we can get a Mystic Summon as well for the new Police. We only have 1. Let's see what we can get. And we don't get her. That's okay. That's alright. Now from here, let's see where else we can make some headway today. Coming into the Reputation, there are 2 things that I want to show you. The first one is with the event Forge Your Gear. You must come into Forge Your Gear Part 1 and click Participate so that you start building up these points. You get points as you start to spend your energy, but also for your daily and your weekly. Now this is a Friday, right? So today we're going to have our weekly, which is a huge one. So make sure you click that because this is going to give you a huge boost onto your Forge Your Gear. There it is. That was a lot, like 2,000. It was a lot. Now in this, they're level 88. What you want to do is you want to go and pick something that's kind of hard to get, right? So you want to pick things that are difficult for you, either to build your next hero or things you're not farming yet or things you haven't had any luck in. Now this person needs to have a they need to have a penetration set. And let's see. Let's go ahead and confirm. And now we get a weapon, a helmet, or a chest plate. Try not to make the chest plate. Try and make the helmet or the weapon. And that's because you have an opportunity to pick something that you really need, like attack, speed, crit chance, crit damage, right? Or you have a chance to pick something that's like health, defense, speed, crit chance. Whoever you're trying to build, this person needs to have a helmet, so we're going to build the helmet. Then after that, we want to select our substats. So I want to pick a attack. I want to pick crit chance, crit damage, and then speed. This is going to be really good for someone like a Zahak. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to be able to select my substats. And when I do that, I want to select speed 3 times. This is going to give me something like a 17 speed. Then I want to go at least 1 in a crit chance, maybe 2. And then you can pick attack or crit damage after that. What's important here is that we don't have an opportunity to do too many of these. You can only do, I think, like 1 per day or something like that. So when you go in and click it, we want to make sure that we are keeping on track with our points to be able to maximize this. Now let's go into our reputation. When I started, I had 57K. Now I'm at 62,500. And I was even able to come in and do some expeditions, which is kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Some of these were just auto battle. I wasn't really paying attention. The only one I actually tried to get was Brutal Ferris, and so I will show you the end of that battle and the team that I used to do that.
Look at me. I have zero tolerance for that.
I think I'm going to faint.
Away. I'll cut your throat. An opening. Don't worry. Ridiculous. Dragon Twilight.
Now, next up, I want to go into Conclave. I think it's Conclave. Yes, so we see here Golem 7, Banshee 7. Now, this person is already on 13 with both of these. So this is the recipe that you get into your Alchemist Steeple. If you level up too fast, then this is what happens. You have unclaimed rewards. I really hate that Epic 7 does this, but you have to claim the reward before beating your next one. So make sure that you do 3, 5, then 7. Then you can go all up to 13 if you want, but make sure you come in and claim your reward at each one of those intervals, and we're going to do that today as well. Now that we finished Golem and Banshee, we're going to focus on the Cadies. Now this one's at Cadies level 1, so it should be pretty easy. I mean, these mobs are level 16, so pretty much anyone can win, right? I don't understand why they even have 13 levels. They really need to condense that down to maybe 3, maybe even 5. This is from a time period when level 67 was the highest level gear, and 70, was just around the corner. Now we're at level 90 gear. So this really needs to go away. There's really no point to it. But as we're farming through this, make sure you stop at 3, 5, and 7 to go and collect the recipe, collect the reward. That way you don't have to come back later and waste your energy doing it all over again. Okay, so I might have overestimated a little bit. It took about 5 minutes and I was totally done with using a healer at all. The boss doesn't even get an attack until level 11. So just go with any heroes you have that need friendship for the first 10 battles or so, or throw some heroes in that are strong enough who can counter attack, and it's going to be just fine. There's really nothing to this as far as we've gotten so far. Now, having said that, some heroes that I really would like to have are Commander Lorena. We already have a Camilla build, and we already have an Azaria build. Now, Commander Lorena would be amazing. So we have a Potion of Ascension, and that's really what I would recommend. Save a Potion of Ascension for something like an Airwell, or something like a Commander Lorena. That way, you're able to take them all the way to 6-star, save on a lot of those materials, and then use them right away. Now, it will take a little bit of time for you to get the runes, but honestly, they're going to work just fine without them, at least for a little while. Here we go with our boss for C13. Now, eventually, we're going to be building up to a one-shot team using our Camilla, a Commander Lorena, which isn't built yet, a Azaria, and a Sinful Angelica. Now, until we're able to get that kind of gear and to get our last hero, we need a team that can beat this 100% or pretty close to 100%. With the changes that we have to the quick battling system, now we're able to do 10 of those battles very easily, no matter how long that team takes. Now, one thing I have noticed is that the quick battling system works better when you have a faster team. When I go with like a 1 minute W13 team, it goes every second. Battle, 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 battle. When I'm going with like a 3 minute team, well, now it's every 10 or 15 seconds. It takes longer, but it's still 100%, and that extra bit of time really doesn't make too big a difference. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and utilize a team that is able to beat it 100% of the time. And for that, I'm using Camilla, and I'm going to try and also bring in Zahak here for single target attack. I had tried a Spectre Tenebria, and that just didn't work, because even though she has her little dream state mist in the mist sort of buff, the boss hits her anyway. He just totally ignores it. I don't have a Sirmia built, and I don't have a Violet yet. So this is what we're going to do, and see if we can get to that 100% mark. That way we can start those quick battles as soon as possible. One great thing about this team is that it looks like it's 100%. They didn't even get close to dying, and when Zahak goes into invincibility, that the boss can't do any damage for several rounds. The problem here is that it took 5 minutes, which is just so long. The first time, not so bad. Quick battling, okay, I'll deal with a quick battle. But trying to actually do this fight like normally throughout the day, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. I'm going to grow a beard by the time I'm done auto battling. So, not going to happen. We're going to try and build up to that team. But for right now, this is going to work. Now, as you guys remember from my previous videos, this person hadn't had a lot of their Labyrinth done, and they definitely weren't done with Nightmare. So not only did we finish the Hell Raid, we also finished Nightmare, so go and check those videos out if you haven't seen them already. Now we have 25 of these bug charms, and we're going to go into the shop. I'm going to go ahead and click into it, and then probably just remove some heroes that I am not able to use here. That looks good, and let's go ahead and go in. Now this is very important because you can come into the shop once per day to buy your different kinds of items. So if you have a lot of these Queen Guards badge or whatever they're called saved up, you can come in once a day. That means in a week you could have all of your badges spent and have a lot of great gear without spending any charms. Now what I want to do is come in and get the necklace. Your first couple should probably be the weapon. Then your next couple should be the necklace, and then come in and try and get one of these rings to help out some of your ER based heroes. And we're gonna roll this one today, which will be very good. Let's see what we're going to do next. Yes. So if you go through the portal, that's going to use up your entry token. If you click on yield and just exit out, you're going to keep your bug charm. You see we have 25 still, and now we're able to go in and utilize the item that we already bought to try and make our heroes better. Before we go into the items, let's quickly talk about the artifacts. This is something that I think people don't talk about very much, and I want to give you some pretty clear instructions on what to do. When we look at your general artifacts, this is going to be like your Guild War stuff, also your side story things, and your 3-star artifacts that are for general purpose. When you get a heroic artifact from a side story, I want you to keep it. If you're playing when this side story comes back around, you're going to instantly get more of your side story materials and rewards without having to do that extra work, which is going to save you energy. Also, some of these are quite good. They increase attack, they increase crit chance, and things like that, which are going to help you to build one-shot teams and to do a lot of the other content. Coming down into Daydream Joker, I want you to have 6 max copies. Even if you can't make them plus 30, go for 6 fully limit broken copies. This is going to enable you to put a artifact on a hero that you can use for a hunt, switch hunts whenever you want, and not have to figure out if they have that artifact. I can't tell you how many times I start autoing something and then it's like fail, 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 but I don't notice it for like an hour. And then it's because the artifact was gone. So keep your max copies, 6 max copies of Daydream Joker. Next, we have Exorcist Tonfa. Now, if you're new to the game, I want you to develop 3 max copies of this. Exorcist Tonfa is going to be a general damage building artifact, 15% when the enemy's HP is 50% or more. If you have, let's say, 5 or 10 portraits, then you don't really need that many of your Exorcist Tonfa, but you're going to want between the two at least 10. This is going to be something where you are going to constantly upgrade your heroes, put damage artifacts. You're going to have a ton of heroes, and there aren't that many cool artifacts for things like warriors. So you're going to use your portrait and also your Exorcist Tonfa quite a lot. And then we're going to come down into Prophetic Candlestick. Now, this is mostly going to be, I want to say it's a meme build, right? Prophetic Candlestick can be pretty cool on some heroes. I think it's like a 40% chance to reduce your skill cooldown 1 time per turn when you're getting hit. This can help you cycle very quickly, but you're really only going to use it into like RTA or in some PvP where you want to get a skill very fast like Leia, or very fast like with your Dark Corvus, or some other heroes like that. Sometimes you can build like 250 ER heroes that just can't be killed, and you're kind of trolling people, but it is kind of fun sometimes. I would say no more than 2 max copies. Other than that, you don't need to have any of these other 3-star artifacts. So we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to let them go and get the powder. Now let's go into all of the other artifacts. Now what I want you to do is keep your 5-star artifacts. You want to have at least 2 for most of them. Keep them at plus 15. Like this Rod of Amaryllis, you can literally play your whole E7 career and then just only have a plus 15 Rod of Amaryllis. You don't have to max it out. So make sure you have 2 copies plus 15 before you start to limit break them, right? Now we go down to the 4-star artifacts. I want you to keep at least 1 max copy because you just don't know when they're going to get buffed and upgraded. Something like Eternatus or Eternus is not cool. It's just not. But you never know when that one's going to get buffed in one of the balance patches, so having it around is a good thing. For your Magahar's Tome, you need 2 max copies, Wondrous Potion Vial, 2 max copies, and Water's Origin, 2 max copies as well. Once you get this 3rd one, then you can start to sell them. This will give you the dust, and you can use the dust to buy your potion once a month. Again, we see the 5-star artifacts, and we're going to keep 2 Dingus Orbs here. Now, you might say, I want one of them for Vivian, I want one of them for, Luluka, right? So having them both is going to be good. But for something like a whatever the heck this says, we only need 1 copy. So this is something that we can now imprint and get that max copy. Hopefully it gets buffed at a later time. For your other mages, we want to have 2 copies of Syra Ren. We want to have 2 copies at least of Caladra. And then your Tagahel's Ancient Book, you should do 3 of them at plus 15 before you start to max limit break 1 of them. You can never have enough book, but a lot of heroes use it, and this becomes kind of an issue because having a book at plus 15 is going to be a lot easier than having no book at all if you need to build up a lot of souls. So that's what I would recommend. Now we see a lot of these 5-star artifacts. Don't forget to lock them down. Make them plus 15. We're going to go ahead and limit break Andre's crossbow. You really only need 1 of these. They buff this. It's still terrible, but you only need 1. Rosa, I would recommend 3. Sachet, you probably only need 1. Infinity Basket, you probably need 2 of these. Once you have 2, then you can go ahead and start to sell the rest. This is going to be a very good source of that dust for you, right? So make sure you have 2, then start to limit break them. Now we're going to go through onto the thief artifacts. 1 max copy. Keep 2 copies of Silver Rain. This isn't used as much as it once was, but we do have some thief heroes with a non-skill attack, so 2 copies there. Then you want 2 copies of Dust Devil. Dust Devil, really awesome. You can even go with 3 if you really wanted to. It's an amazing artifact on a lot of heroes, and it catches people off guard sometimes. Aaliyah's Knife, 2 copies of this. Then we can start to get rid of the rest. And then we come down into your Moonlight Dreamblade. Some people use a lot of Moonlight Dreamblade. Honestly, I don't. And I don't really like to use evasion style heroes anyway, because guaranteed they are going to lose when you don't want them to lose. Like, you think you're immortal with evasion. You're like, yes, evaded. I evaded 15 times in a row. And then you're going to go into a battle and you're going to get one-shotted because you didn't evade. So I don't even mess with it. I don't even mess with it. It's such a pain. Here we go. Steadfast Gatekeeper. I would at least 1. I use it on Brieg. You can keep 2 if you want. Hildeg Lance, at least 1. Adamant Shield, you want 3 max. And then Aureus, you want at least 6 max. Now, especially with the Aureus, go for at least 3 at plus 15 here. I think these ones were already built and I just leveled them up. But go for 3 at plus 15 before you start to limit break them. Having 15% onto the damage mitigation versus 20%, really not that much. And it works on just a ton of your knight heroes. Going through on the warriors, a lot of their stuff sucks, honestly. So Fulcrum is looking a little bit better. I would probably keep at least 1 max copy, probably 2. Strat Gauntlet, you really only need 1. Really. Hellcutter, I would go with 2. And then with L's Fist, if you have basically nothing else to put on them, L's Fist. Something like an Assassin Cart, L's Fist, right? So only go with 2 max copies and then get rid of all of the rest. Let's roll some gear. We're coming up to our Hell Raid necklace, right? We bought this from the shop. You get this by doing the Hell Raid or by doing Nightmare. Now on this account, we were able to do Nightmare, which is awesome because we were able to also get some gear to help us out. Now for this one, I'll go ahead and roll a few of them, but really you can just take it all the way to plus 15. We get a 3 speed, which is not amazing, but speed is speed, right? Speed is speed. Then we get a max roll into attack. Plus 9 is a max roll, which is just fantastic. At this point, I want to be at least 57. I'm at 64, way, way ahead. And part of that is because it starts already maxed out, which is great. Then we have another plus 9. Wow. I want to be at a 66 here. I'm at a 76. Just so fantastic. These items you get from the raid, I don't know why you guys are not doing this. It's so good. Plus 6 is a max roll. Okay, well, this is not typical. This is not typical, okay? I realize as I'm saying that now, like, this is not typical. We have a plus 90. This is going to end up like a 95. Oh, man. 107. That's great. We are definitely going to find a place for this. You can put this on something like as a Hawk. You can put it onto an Aiden. You can put it onto like a Violet or a Remnant Violet or a Spirit Eye Celine. Like, the options are basically endless. And the last thing I want to do today is I want to take a look at the heroes. So before we had a total of 51 level 60s. Now we have 54. We also had a friendship 16. That's okay, I guess, right? Let's take a look at how many friends we've actually made now. I'm sure it's going to be more than 16. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rows. That's 24. So not bad. We made 8 more level 10 friendships with a few on the way, which is pretty good. Now what I want to do is I want to come in and start to make some more heroes. So we leveled up things like Shu and Camilla. Now we're going to come in and level up some more. I want to have a Sirmia. Sirmia is going to be very good into Hall of Trials, which is going to help us to build out a lot of the Dagger Sakar. You can build her fairly easily. We're going to try and put her onto a raid set. And I've got my first piece here. And then you can put her onto Our Beautiful Seasons if you have it, or a Hollow Trials artifact. I think that will be pretty good. We're going to go ahead and promote her all the way up. Looks like we can make 5, maybe even 6 heroes here. Very nice. And then we'll level her up as well. Now, what I recommend is that you level up your heroes using the... That was super weird. Thanks, Serbia. I recommend that you level up your heroes with the penguins, because then you can take them into something like a unrecorded history, get that friendship, while also developing their stigma mileage, which will give you even more penguins. Oddly enough, it's more beneficial to level your heroes with the penguins than it is to just take them into a level. It's super weird, right? Now we have a Senya, and look at this. I forgot to, well, I guess we don't do it yet. When we level up, I'll show you that we also have the pet. Let's go to level. And you see it's going to flash up 11.25%. That's from the lobby pet, so make sure you have that as well, so you can take, get the most benefit out of using up your different penguins. Let's see who else we have. We have Aramintha, who isn't bad. Aramintha can be used into the Nightmare Era Hakken, but pretty much nothing else. We also have a Lilka, who I use into Expedition, and she's actually a pretty good member of your B13 team if that's something you want to do. Now, Mui, you don't actually need to have at plus 60 for your W13 team, but if you do, that'll speed it up a little bit, and so I do recommend that so I can do hunts faster on a hunt buff day. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to utilize the penguins for the Mui. We can level him in the hunt, and because I have a hunt buff day tomorrow, I'm going to bring him up to 60 right there in the hunt. You can also do that with something like a Lilka. You can do it with a Mercenary Helga. You can do it with a Sirmia into your G13. Those are all going to work out just fine. Now, another thing you can do is you can level your heroes inside your Spirit Altar. When you go to Spirit Altar, just like your hunt, that's not going to develop stigma mileage, which is important to note because if you put all max heroes in, you don't get stigma, you just don't get anything. So putting in at least one hero that needs to have XP will speed that up, and you get free XP, which is always good, right? That way we don't have to waste all of our penguins on just leveling heroes like this, especially if you're low and you need gold. Coming down the list, is there anyone else that we want to use? We could level Bibulus, but why? Vivian is not a bad hero to have, to be honest. She's very good into like an A13 one-shot. She's really good into a B13 one-shot, so we should consider leveling her. Now, I do want to level Infernal Kawazu. I think that he is just amazing. So we want to bring him up to a 5-star as well. I like to use Inferno into a lot of heroes that have the AoE, and then he just nukes them. So really good there to have your Infernal Kawazu. We need to give him some gear though. And he's got anger issues. Not sure I really realized that. Anger issues, man. Now, Spear of Purification does work. You can also use the Indestructible Gators. Obviously, we don't have that, so we're going to use the Spear of Purification. There we go. And he's going to do great on this artifact. Now let's come down, and I think I saw someone else. Let's go into Alencia. So honestly, if you put an Alencia onto some of your injury gear, she is fantastic into your guild war, especially if you have no way to take care of something like a Ravi, right? Alencia, she'll take care of a Ravi for you. So we're going to level her up. Epic 7 recently announced the Overlord collaboration, and this is a very important event because we haven't had a collaboration in a while. Something that we learned from Full Metal Alchemist, something we learned from Espa is that, these collaborations might not come back. And so if you don't get these heroes, you might not have another chance. If you missed Karina, I mean, that's a big deal in PvP. She's super meta. If you missed something like a Edward, really big deal. So we want to make sure that we always have enough of our Covenant bookmarks to get the heroes that we need. I would recommend that you have at least 10,000 Skystones and then try and get up to about 1,200 or so Covenant bookmarks, just in case you have to pity two different heroes. We're going to get a free hero in this collaboration, but there's going to be those two that we have to summon for. And even if you don't like them today, we never know with this balanced team what they're going to do. Sometimes they do things that don't make sense to us. Maybe they have a larger picture and we're looking in a very minimal picture. We're looking at today's meta and they're looking at the future meta, which is what that's what they should do. That's what their job is, right? But you might not like these heroes that they're putting out. You might not like their skills, but you never know how they're going to be buffed or used in the future. You also don't know what heroes that are going to come out that these might counter in the meta for RTA or for Guild War or anything like that. I would have never imagined that we would get some of the heroes that we already have. So this is something that I would suggest as you're going through. Try and do some refreshes on the Garo shop. Try 5 or 10 a day. I've been doing it now for a minute and a half, and I got like 3 hits. You don't have to do it for hours and hours like a drone, but just see what you can get, and hopefully you have some luck. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to have one more episode on this series where we're going to build up some more heroes, maybe even do some PvP, and hope that we can transfer. Ooh, a double hit. Hope that we can transfer over this account back to its owner. Give me a like so other people just like you can find it as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck on your battles.